and we're going to go ahead and we can look at more of that tomorrow. So today, if you notice, we're going to analyze graphs of functions and relations. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at this one. It says the function f of x equals negative 5x squared plus 50x. So already, you know it's a parabola, right? Because it's an x squared. It's a negative x squared, so that means it's going to go down. If it would be positive, it would do what?
Go up.
Go up. Approximates the profit at a toy company where x is the marketing costs and f of x is the profit. Here's the thing. A ton of people are always like, well, what's f of x? F of x is nothing more than y. So whenever you see something like this, all that means is y. So x is the marketing cost, which you see on the graph. Y is the profit. Both costs and profits are measured in tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. So when I see 2, that means 20,000. Okay, when I see 50, that means 500,000. Okay, so what would 100 be? A million. All right, use the graph to estimate the profit when marketing costs are $30,000. Confirm your estimate algebraically. So marketing costs are $30,000. So here's 1, 2. Here's where 30,000 is going to be, right? So what I need to do is I need to find out what is my y value at that specific point. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and draw a line in because that's obviously what happens. So here's 30,000. I need to go ahead and find out what is this value right here. That's all you do. 30,000, I go up. What value will that be? $1 million. So there you go. This is just about reading basic graphs. Now notice what the next statement says, because everybody panics when they see this. Confirm your estimate algebraically.
Oh gosh, no.
So all we're going to do, what value of x was this red line? 3, right? So all you're going to do is you're going to plug in 3 for x, and that's it. Okay? So I'm going to take 3 squared, which is what? 9 times negative 5. You get negative 45. I'm going to add to that 50 times 3, which is 150. What do I get? I get about 105, which I know would correspond to 1,050,000. So notice it says confirm your estimate. That was my estimate of 1 million. That's pretty close. And so, in fact, that is correct. Okay, when you confirm your estimate algebraically, it might not be exactly the same as what you found. As long as it's close, you're good to go.
So within 50,000 regression?
Well, that would work, because 50,000 in one of these is a pretty minute amount. All right, let's look at the next one. The function f of x equals, so the same function. Okay, use this graph to estimate marketing costs when the profit is 1.25 million. So now where am I looking? Am I going to look at the x or the y? Yeah, I'm going to look up above 100,000, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see 125. This is 50, 75, 100. So what would this one on the top be? Yep, that'd be 1.25 million. So I'm looking at that right there. And so really that crosses right here. So my estimate is going to be about 5, which I know is $50,000. So now this one's a little different because it says confirm your estimate algebraically. So that means I'm going to plug 5 in, or I'm going to plug 125 in here for f of x. Okay, I could do that. Or the other way I could do that to confirm it, let's plug in 5 for x, and that will be much easier. Okay, if I would have plugged the 125 in for f of x, you would have had a quadratic factoring. This is much easier. 5 squared is times negative 5 is negative 125. Add that to 250, and you get 125, which is exactly what we wanted. There you're confirmed. So the confirm needs to be just kind of like a check, kind of like what you used to do before when you used to check your work. Questions on that? Think you can handle it? So here we go, let's look at this one. Here we go with the domain and the range. So now, domain and range yesterday with algebraically was a little tough. Let's look at it now. It says use the graph of f to find the domain and range of the function. Write your answer in interval notation. Domain is what? What did it correspond to? X's. Okay, what did range correspond to? Y. So the domain is going to be how far I go horizontally. So right now I'm just looking at the x-axis. So I look at the left. Does the graph go all the way to the left? Yeah, because I use this arrow here. So it goes all the way to the left. All the way to the left I know is what? Yes? He went to see the trainer.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. So negative infinity is all the way to the left. Okay? As I move along the graph to the right, does it keep going all the way to the right? Where does it stop? It stops right here at 3. This is my lowest point. And so, do I include 3 or not? Yes, because that point is included. That is your domain.
How do you know it's brackets?
The brackets mean that it is included. Okay? The parentheses mean it's not. And we never include infinity. Let's look at the next one, the range. The range is the y's. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look up or down. Okay? So if I start at negative infinity, does the graph keep going all the way down? Will it keep going? Yep, that's what this arrow indicates. So that is negative infinity. Then what I'm going to do is move up the graph. Is there a point at which the graph stops?
Yes.
Where?
2.
2. It stops right up here. That value is 2. Do I include 2? Yep, because that point is included. That is the range. That's all you're doing. You're examining left to right, then bottom to top. Let's look at it again. Another one. Find the domain and the range. So we're looking left to right. So first of all, for the domain. So let's start with the leftmost point. What's going to be the leftmost point? Negative 3. Am I going to include that? Okay, where do I now go to? What happens here at 1?
One reason I don't know why you didn't include it.
It's an open circle.
Oh, there we go.
So if I move and I hit this point, I know some of you are saying, okay, well what about this jump right here? Okay, I'm just right now worried on the x's. Now, if I use the number 1, this open circle down here means all the numbers up into 1, right? 1 is included up here in the top. It's not included here, but it's everything up until. So really, won't I keep going? I'll keep going? Yeah.
If it was a closer.
I said
And so-
infinity, you gave me a weird look.
I wanted to make sure you knew what you were doing and
I
not
knew it.
guessing. So that is going to be your domain, your range. So let's start at the bottom. We always start at the bottom. Oops, I grabbed my pen. Let's start at the range. What's my bottommost point going to be? Negative infinity, because this is going all the way down. Where do I go up until? Up until where? Where do I stop?
Oh, no.
There's a jump there, so we can't.
Okay, well, let's keep going. Now watch what you said, because I think you misspoke. I'm going to keep going from negative infinity. Where am I going to stop?
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
But
Okay, you
it's
guys
not
were saying
included.
1. I'm like, what?
It's not.
Okay, now do I include negative 1?
So I don't understand
No.
why you include it for that way, but you don't include it for the domain.
What do you mean why I didn't
It's
include
got
1?
circle. If it's an open circle, you might include it. If it's closer, you don't.
Yeah.
So since they're open, I don't.
Okay, what else do I have? I also have one other point. What is my other point that I'm going to use? 1. So there's 2 ways to write 1. Okay, you could do this. You could do this and use a little, set notation, the number 1. Okay, or what you could probably do is you could put this, and that would work as well. Okay? So, do we like this domain and range a little bit better than yesterday's?
Substantially.
Okay, let's go ahead and see what we got here. Find the domain and the range of the function. So let's start with the domain. Remember, I start left and I work left to right. So what's my leftmost point going to be?
Negative 2 include.
Negative 2, am I going to include it?
Yes.
So negative 2 include. The reason why I include it is because that is a closed circle right there. Where do I go to? 6, do I include 6?
No.
No, because it is an open circle. All right, what about the range? So I'm looking bottom to top. What is my lowest point?
0.
0, do I include it?
Yep.
And what's my top point? Do I include it? There you go.
That's a very inclusive.
So far, so good? Okay. All right, what I want you to do right now is I want you to write this down, x-intercepts and y-intercepts, and this is going to be the last thing we cover today. I just want you to get this down. We will pick up with this tomorrow, okay? X-intercepts and y-intercepts. X-intercepts occur where y equals 0. Y-intercepts occur where x equals 0. I know, but we need to state it because there are some things where
There's people like me out there too.
okay, so like I said, we're going to continue with this tomorrow. What I need you to do then is you can start on your assignment. Your assignment for this section on page 19 through 21. Your assignment for this section, 19 through 21, is the pages, is 2 through 44, the evens. You should be able to do up until number 14.
And then we don't do
You
that?
should be able to do number up until number 14. You're not going to be able to do all of this because we just didn't cover that. Okay? So, go ahead and stop to at which point we can't do anymore, which I believe is 14, and then we will pick up with this tomorrow. Okay?